Attention Human Gaming Station customers, we have spoilers on Register 6. TLDR of this review, I highly suggest buying it. It's a story that is much better experience spoiler-free. If you do end up buying it, my strongest suggestion is that you pick up the OST as well.
Papa, did you have any regrets?
Besides you and your brother, no. Well, there is one. I never got to play the game To the Moon.
I think I can help with it. Wait. To the Moon, the 4-hour indie game? That's what you wanted?
Yes, that's exactly what I want.
Oh, I want to play the game To the Moon. Could have been a quarterback. Could have been a freaking Oscar winner. No, I want to play a freaking indie game on a computer. I mean, how hard would that be? Actually, wait a minute. I don't need to hook up the Sigmund technology. We got this right here. So what, you want To the Moon? There. Is it what you wanted?
Ah, yes. Now I can die happy.
To the Moon. So there's a pretty interesting story to how I found out about this game. I was listening to Heavy Rain's soundtrack, some good old Norman Corbeil piano music, and then I checked in the comments and someone said, I really like this. Does anybody know of something similar? And one of the responses to that comment was, you should listen to Four River from To the Moon. So I actually really liked the song I was listening to, so I decided to look it up as well, and I was blown away by what I heard. In fact, I looked at the rest of the To the Moon soundtrack and loved what I heard. Well, let's fast forward to last year's Steam Summer Sale, the winter one. I think it went to January. Anyway, I looked at it and To the Moon, and guess what? It was there for only $2, and for an additional 50 cents you get all the add-ons, aka the amazing soundtrack. So I bought that puppy right up just for the soundtrack. Listened to it, loved it, but never really played the game. Well, the time finally seemed right, so here's my story of To the Moon. Hey guys, quick problem. I just went to start editing. Turns out all my footage worthless. It's been destroyed. It will not work. So what I'm going to do is steal the To the Moon long play off of World of Long Plays. Hopefully it works. I'll put the link in the description if you want to show them a little bit of love for helping out. It's just that I've already done all the work. I wrote the script, I did the voiceover work, I did the filming, and I really liked how everything turned out, and I don't want to throw it all away. And there's just no way I can't capture To the Moon without it getting more corrupted, so let's do this. What is this? To launch To the Moon, press the play button. Alright. So in this game, you start off as Dr. Watts and Dr. Rosaline from the Sigmund Corp, which has a technology that can alter someone's memories so that they can think that they did anything in their life. However, since it's 100% real to them and not reality, it is reserved only for people who are going down. Kind of like Make-A-Wish Foundation, really, so that your final moments are that of satisfaction. So the two doctor scientists go to the home of an old man named Johnny, and his caretaker Lily tells us that our boy Johnny wanted to go to the moon. We asked to know a little more about Johnny, but she was only his caretaker for a couple of years, so she doesn't really know anything about him. So while Dr. Scientist Watts finishes up the preparation for the machine, Dr. Scientist Rosalina goes full Sherlock Holmes to investigate and find out more about this Johnny character. Lily says that the kids will help me, and the kids say that they'll only help me if I get the candy cane that their mom keeps as a reward. Well, they aren't my kids, so I have no problem with messing with Lily's parenting. And then the kids help me find a key, which leads to this bizarre, creepy room with origami rabbits and this platypus doll. They also send me to the lighthouse. But on my way there, we are attacked by a ravenous squirrel. Okay, I didn't mention it earlier, but Dr. Scientist Watts crashed the car while trying not to run over a squirrel. Unfortunately, he failed, and now the fallen squirrel's brother is out for revenge. Time for the RPG part of this RPG Maker game. Now, while Dr. Scientist Rosaline has a legendary volcanic jump kick or Armageddon fist, I feel that there's nothing quite as useful as shoo. But then the kids yell at me that this is animal abuse, and then the critter just runs off. The old bait and switch. We go to to the top of the lighthouse and the creep fest continues, but I do snag the special blue and yellow one. So I get back to Johnny's room and the two Dr. Scientists plug in the helmet and enter Johnny's minds and explain that we will need mementos to go back through his life so he can mark different points and put his now desire to go back to the moon throughout his life, which will help him make the choices to become an astronaut. So the first memento he hands over is the blue and yellow rabbit, and we go back in time to him visiting his wife's grave. And then we go back near the end of her life where Johnny convinces her that there's enough money for her treatment in their dream house, but she knows it's a lie and declines the treatment. Taking a few steps back in life, he tells a family friend Isabel about the financial problems, and she starts playing a music box version of Everything's Alright, and Johnny mentions that it most certainly is not. Then the pickled olives that Johnny loves so very much takes us to a bar where Johnny and River announce that they will be breaking ground for their new dream home near the lighthouse. Also, Johnny tells his buddy Nicholas that River's new hobby is these creepy origami bunnies. With a little more of a hop back in time, we go to where Johnny suggests that they buy the land with the lighthouse, and River is overjoyed because she loves lighthouses. Then we backtrack to a bookstore where Nicholas and Isabel talk about River's vague condition and how it makes it hard for River to outwardly express feelings like love. Isabel has the same thing going for her, but a lifetime of stage acting has helped her to fake what we perceive as normal. And then with that, I need to answer some Animorphs trivia so I can go back in time a little more. It's weird, I know, but it's explained a little better in the game. Basically, mementos send me back in time, and Johnny's mom got him an Animorphs book as a wedding gift. And on their wedding night, they did married things, which in this case was dancing the night away in a lighthouse.
How romantic. Sissy stuff.
Step back and we're at a horse ranch. I could skip over this part right now, but I love the skippy upbeat version of Four River, and it's funny to see Dr. Scientist Watts getting dirgled by the horse. Then we step back in time to River's diagnosis, and it's mentioned as a developmental disease. Then we leap back in time to a movie theater where Johnny is watching a movie all alone. Some first date, River stood him up. But what actually happened was that she was watching the movie at a different part of the theater. She didn't realize that the fun of a movie date is sitting together, so they went back inside to enjoy the movie. Then we take a massive leap in time back to when Johnny asked River out. Some of the jumps are over 10 years, this jump was less than a week. Then we jump back in time to Johnny's house and are brought to see some of his domestic life. And then we jump back to childhood and a foul stench fills the air and the machine goes all screwy. But the Dr. Scientists think that they have enough memories to convince past Johnny to become an astronaut. I do a puzzle in spectral form and knock 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 on Johnny's head. We fail to convince younger Johnny to become an astronaut though. We even get a funny montage of Neil and Eva jumping in and out of Johnny's life, trying to convince him of the awesomeness of going to the moon.
They make you fly.
You'll fall in love.
They'll bring world peace.
You'll walk through walls.
You'll rule the world.
But with nothing working out, the Dr. Scientist has no other option but to pull out and try and fix the problem in the morning. After a little research, Neil discovers that Johnny had taken some beta blockers to block out some childhood memories. Excellent! No, this is great! Thank you so much for getting me the info now instead of when we were starting the procedure. It's great!
It's not great, it's very annoying.
So we readjust the machine, but if we want to start from where we were as opposed to the beginning, we need to get Johnny thinking about that day. The thing is that he's unconscious, just barely holding on long enough for his wish to come true. But his nose still works, and since the scent of rot was so prevalent in his memory, we grab some squirrel corpse to jog Johnny's memory. Then we're back in time, but the machine is still screwy because there are twice as many Johnnies running around as usual. Usually in the memories there are a few forms, but there are lots here. You know, double the amount of Johnnies, memories that had to be blocked, the fact that Johnny had a bunk bed.
Oh, shoot.
Johnny had a twin that accidentally got killed by the mom backing out of the driveway. After that, the few remaining memories to go back in time are the one of the brothers being brothers, fighting and making up, and the one time that they went to the carnival. I I even got to play a carnival game, Whack-A-Mole. They suggest the mouse controls, and that was the worst idea of all time. Now, I can't show you because World of Long Plays is actually really good with the mouse controls, but I sucked at it. I mean, I got 100% of the Diglets when I tried it with the arrow keys, but the footage that I had to steal managed 100%, so let's just pretend it was me and move on to the next part of the story, which is Joey and Johnny arguing about how Joey got the train. So Johnny wanders off away from the group and finds this little red-headed girl, and they have a bit of a heartfelt moment together. They look up into the sky, and the girl says that she likes to think about the stars as lighthouses, and then they make constellations of a bunny, and the moon is its tummy. Johnny asks Riv, the girl, if she'll be at the carnival next year, and she says yes. And then they agree to meet in this area next year. But if one of them doesn't show up, Johnny says that they will meet each other again on the bunny's tummy on the moon. And it's that line that gets Eva to realize how she's gonna get Johnny to the moon. Neil figures it out too, but he thinks that a life with a loved one is more important than being a spaceman. But Eva was hired to do a job, no matter the cost. And she's the one in charge. Neil is captured while Eva starts rewriting Johnny's life, and Neil tries to stop her, but is thrown into a trippy sequence. I need to run down a hall, dodging all manner of spikes, balls, and zombie Evas. Ah! Eat plant, you zombie! Okay, how do I get past this? No! No! After a while, it is done. Eva rewrote Johnny's memory with no more River. But as a kindness, she did let him keep Joey. All of the memories with River are replaced by good times with his twin brother Joey. Johnny works his butt off and applies for NASA several times. And Joey becomes a famous writer. Plenty of time goes by, but finally Johnny got the call. Now we get to go to his new memories at NASA. So now we get to go through NASA, and, there's something pretty neat that I didn't mention, but this game has a great sense of humor. Dr. Scientist Rosaline is a great foil to the goofball pop culture referencer Neil. It's hard to talk about humor in games because all you can do is say the jokes, and I just want to leave that unspoiled in case you decide to play To the Moon. Well, the tour of NASA concludes in the break room, and guess what Eva did? She gave River the drive to become an astronaut as well. Johnny and her entered the space program and still fell in love. Their marriage still occurred, and the dance in the lighthouse, and because they were rich and famous astronauts, they were able to afford to both live in the dream home. Such a sweet memory as the game draws to an end. There's the launch off and heading to the moon, just as Johnny's health deteriorates. Him and River are on the spacecraft, and the program starts to fall apart. The final moments of Johnny's memory are with River. She reaches over to him and Johnny takes her hand. And then in the window of the spacecraft, they see it. The moon. And then Johnny flatlines. Wait, he died there? But he didn't get to the moon yet. He was only like halfway there. Neil, Eva, you robbed the old man. He didn't get his wish. He didn't go to the moon. So, that's To the Moon. Honestly, I felt a little bit robbed. I was ready to cry. I was ready to feel sad, man. I've watched To Your Lie in April, so I was emotionally ready for this, and I gotta say, I wasn't sad. If I was to feel any emotion during this, it was laughing, The script's funny, and there were some really heartwarming moments, but nothing really sad. I mean, on YouTube, there's like these compilations, like YouTuber To the Moon compilation, and it's all of them crying, but there was, I didn't feel sad at anything. Is it because they're going through Johnny's life while playing Laura Shinhara's Everything's Alright? I mean, I can understand how that might be it, but honestly, I listen to the soundtrack in my free time, so you can't get an emotional response on the music alone with me. But all in all, I'd say my experience with it was a positive one. You can pick it up on Steam for $10, and if you do that, buy the soundtrack for an additional $2.50, and honestly, the $12.50 is enough for the soundtrack, I'd say. I absolutely love it. Listen to it all the time. All the time. And if you buy that soundtrack for the $12.50, you also got a game with it. A short little game that you can finish in an afternoon. It's got a funny script and a compelling narrative. Hey, I have a great idea. Why don't you hit the subscribe button? That way, when you get to the end of your life and are given a Sigmund technology wish, you can have your life regret being hitting that subscribe button, and you can have them undo that. Other regrettable life actions would include clicking on any of the videos I have on screen for you there. So just a little more of a nod, and then you say,
Yes. That's exactly what I want, you dirty fruit.
trying to get about the dirty fruit, but